Welcome to a very special, weird episode of Thoroughly Considered, which is kind of also a little bit crossover with the backmarkers. We're all F1 fans here. I have an occasional F1 podcast, but before and after we record, sometimes we actually the three of us, just sit and chat about F1. And Dan had a very good idea, which we'll get into in a minute, which explains what all of this is. And I called this a very thoroughly considered ranking of the F1 driver intro. And we're doing this because you helped hit this milestone in our Relay for St. Jude campaign for this year. So every single year we come together as the whole Relay community to support the life-saving work of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and we have now passed over $3 million raised as a community since we started this campaign in 2019 because we're here to support the life-saving work of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So I'd like you to go to stjude.org/relay. You can donate there. You can start your own fundraiser there and get people in your friends, your family, your community to help support the life-saving work of St. Jude, because we believe that childhood cancer should go away, and St. Jude is doing everything they can to make that possible. They treat thousands of kids, and they have treated many thousands more, and they share their work with the world. And so everybody's able to benefit from what they learn from their research. Please go to stjude.org/relay to learn more and donate. Dan, what are we doing?
What are we doing? This is a F1 driver ranking, but we're not ranking what we think of the drivers or how good they are at racing race cars. We're ranking
like everybody else would.
We're ranking what we think of their driver intro that is played at the beginning of every F1 race. And so do we want to get into what I proposed for kind of the grading rubric before we
very important. Very important.
Okay, so I think the things to think about when judging the driver intro, I put here shot composition. So this is basically cinematography. Like, what do we think of the lighting? What do we think of the composition? Then I have direction, which is basically what did the director tell the driver to do? Or what did the driver choose to do? Yeah. And then the last category I have is honesty, which is meant to be how good of a job do we think their pose or thing that they did reflects who we understand of them as a person or as a driver. And then kind of as bonus, if we need like a tiebreaker, we're on the edge of a tier, we can award points for like how many frames they're allotted in the edit, or if their shot has any cuts or not, like how many cuts are assembled, how many shots are assembled for their introduction.
So this is interesting to me, and we can get into this as we go. I had always assumed that everybody got the same amount of time, but maybe that's not the case.
No, not at all.
That's really interesting.
Well, hold on. We got to back up and explain to the final listener what even this is.
That's a really good point.
Like, so before an F1 race, there's 20 drivers, and they all have a little couple second intro of them just kind of like making a pose and doing something before every race.
It's like the opening credits for the race.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
and it seems like they film this one time a season, like at the beginning of the season, and they use this on every single of the 24 races or whatever, at every single one. So you kind of, before every race, if you're sitting there right before things start, this rolls and everyone watches it that watches F1. So this is like seen by millions of people all the time, always. And the other context I would provide for this is the interesting thing about F1 and why I really like watching F1 is there's only 20 drivers.
Yes.
And so you actually get to know the personalities and the storylines of each driver. And so it's not just some random like person. You actually kind of like have a pretty good inclination of like at least what's going on in their life, or like what, you kind of have some inside view. So that I think also changes the context a little bit on this too. As like there's not hundreds of drivers, there's 20.
And I guess the only addendum to that is sometimes the drivers change, which is actually It
Happening
happened
now.
once during this season for what we have, and it's happened again. So, like, on the screen right now is Logan Sargent. We are doing the Logan Sargent version. Logan's not in it anymore because Logan's not in it
Bye-bye.
anymore. But we're, for our American friend, we're
It's a
gonna
sign
we're
of
gonna
respect.
vote. Sign
One
of
final
respect.
send off.
Yeah, I mean, it was just Memorial Day, right? So I guess we are memorializing Logan Sargent here for your enjoyment. Yeah, that, I guess. And so we're also tier list ranking this. That is the ultimate end to this. If you've never seen a tier list before, these are very popular on the internet. We will effectively be putting them into a bracket of 5, starting at S, going to A, B, C, and D. So we will be ultimately tier list ranking these drivers' intros based on the rubric that Dan has created, which is, I love how unnecessarily complicated this is.
Wait,
And,
completely.
and just to for
Thorough.
those that don't understand the tiers, it's basically letter grades like in school, A, B, C, D. But then there's this extra one, S, which can stand for super or special or whatever, which is like a 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10. Like this is the best top tier. And then everything else kind of falls into classic like letter grade ranking.
And I, as always, whenever I do a tier list ranking, I propose that at the end, we have the ability to shuffle
Mhm.
if we want,
Mhm.
which I think
Yeah.
is I think it's a very important thing for tier lists, because you could at the very beginning you end up like creating a situation that you might pay for 17 people later on. Like we
Yeah.
put Logan in S tier, and then everything else, I don't know where it goes.
So there's going to be four drivers in each tier at the end.
There can be
It
as
doesn't
many
need
as
to
many
be
as we want.
perfectly
We can have
balanced.
only
Oh,
one in S if we
okay.
like. We could put the rest in D.
Okay.
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 So I have the clips. We're gonna play them without sound because I tried listening to them with sound earlier and it was terrible to just get like a very, very short amount. So should we get started with Logan Sargent?
Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, wait, that's not it, is it?
That is
That's it.
it. That is it.
Really?
That is
Thir-
it.
31
Oh, man.
frames.
Now, here's the thing. I'm immediately dinging this for honesty because I've followed the Williams social media account. Logan Sargent seems like a fun dude. Like,
Mhm.
he's got a good personality. He's got a fun vibe. Him and Alex do a podcast together, which I've only ever seen clips of because I wouldn't really want to listen. And I think it's called like something Talk, which I think is fun, right? Like TORQUE Talk. But so I'm not convinced. It honestly looks like Logan got scared.
It's like before they said action.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
something.
He doesn't do anything at all.
Yeah.
All that
Yeah,
changes
nothing
is a light
happens.
comes on and it zooms in on him.
And then-
Oh, if you think he's doing nothing, wait till we get to Yuki. But we'll get there.
I think this is honestly, I don't think it can be worse than this.
Well, let's. So you kind of skipped straight to like the Odyssey category. I think
okay.
there is something interesting in the shot composition, specifically what's
Yes.
going on the video screen behind him
Mhm.
and how it like frames his face, that white transitioning
Okay.
to black
Yeah.
behind
That
him.
does look
animated
good.
thing.
That-
It's kind of nice.
You're right.
Yeah.
I've decided to judge this purely on the honesty, which is not how the
Yeah.
rubric works.
So
I would say- But the problem is, it's so short that I have to like ding the like director or editor. I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? It's so
Yeah.
short.
No, but come on. All right.
Is
so
it even a second
look,
long?
if we're
it's 31 frames.
the other thing
which
that is
just
important,
over-
by the way, is I don't know if you guys know this, but I assume you probably do. How the order is set for this intro. Do you know this?
I don't
Oh.
know. I made some assumptions based on kind of like popularity / accolades.
No.
But yeah.
So the
lay it on us.
2024 intro is set on the finishing order of 2023.
Oh,
So
that's what
Logan
makes it.
finished last, which
Yeah.
Okay.
should suggest he has the least amount of time or at least a
Yeah,
very
no,
a
yeah.
low amount of time, right?
Yeah.
Like that he is A, lost, and B, not massively
he-
popular.
He doesn't even get to move his mouth though. It's like, maybe it's a super winning smile on the other side of this. You just can't tell because they cut it.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, so I agree with the honesty and the direction seem a bit staid and a bit
Yeah.
off the mark. I do think where it does gain points is kind of the composition. Like again, which I think this is a video screen behind them. I don't think
Yeah.
this,
It
they're
is.
standing in front of a green
They're
screen.
standing in
It
front
is.
of a video screen.
So
I
that's
saw
like-
it behind the scenes.
Yeah, so that's cool that they're having to kind of like coordinate these shots. And so this like there's a zoom in as the screen is kind of changing behind
Animating.
him, and I think that's like
That's
pretty
cool.
effective.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm going, because again, this is the tier list issue, right? Because this is the first one. I'm going to assume that they all look good,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
that they're all in
yeah.
front of a video screen that's moving. Like
Yeah.
direction, D. Honesty, D. Like I don't know how we could put this higher than a D.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I
fine with
think it's
sticking it
gotta
in D for
fail.
now.
I think
Yeah.
it's gotta
We can
fail.
start
Yeah.
there. There you go. Logan goes in D.
Okay.
There he is.
There we go.
Oh, Lord.
Are we ready next for Kevin Magnuson?
Yeah.
We're
Okay,
ready. Oh,
We got the volume that time, so I've learned that I need to turn that down every time. So that's
Yeah,
good.
every
That's
time.
good. That's good.
Hmm.
I like this
So
one significantly more.
interesting. Okay.
Well, I like that he keeps eye contact with the camera as it
Yeah, the
moves.
eyes follow the camera.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, just the movement of the camera to me is more interesting than what was
Yeah.
going on in Logan's.
It's probably handheld.
And
It
I
looks like
feel like
he's-
I'm getting a personality from Kevin Magnuson here.
Mm. It looks like his head is also turning slightly too.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Or
And again,
Yeah,
we're seeing
yeah.
things moving in the background, right? So, like, I think we
Yeah.
can make it a given that we're getting that every time.
Yeah, specifically with the Logan though, it like framed his face in an interesting way where this is just kind of ambient
It's just
noise in the
stuff,
background
yeah.
behind it.
I like the red.
Yeah.
The red light coming from the side is cool.
Yeah, that's true.
And that actually is a benefit of them doing it in front of the screen, right? Because they're
Mhm.
obviously got red graphics for Kevin because he's racing with Haas, who's red,
Mm.
right? So, like,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
what's illuminating him. So that's actually
Yeah, that-
interesting.
That might be intentional red lighting.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah, I
for
bet
this
you they
shot,
have like
but
a
yeah.
red.
Yeah.
Oh, but I also like that it's more zoomed in. You can like see his face. Like I
Mhm.
actually
Mhm.
feel like I've never spent this much time looking at Kevin Magnuson's face.
I just want to
so-
compare. It might be helpful in some instances to compare.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
come
Logan
on.
Sargent looks like a scared deer in that
Yes.
in the first one.
Yes, he
Yeah.
doesn't
K-Mag is-
look like, oh, I'm gonna win. You know,
Well,
like, he
maybe-
doesn't-
maybe-
What's going on, guys?
maybe that's points for honesty though. It's like a kind of a appropriate direction for the new, kind of the new driver. Although I guess this is the
He's
second
not
year,
new. That
Second
was the second
season.
season. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
not. Yeah.
So Kevin Magnuson,
K-Mag.
36 frames versus Logan Sargent's 31 frames.
Okay.
I
that's good.
don't view Kevin Magnuson as being like kind of furrowed brow, but maybe
Mhm.
he is.
Kevin Magnuson is a killer. Currently, as we are standing, Kevin
Yeah.
Magnuson is such a killer. He has received a ban for the
Been
next
banned.
race. This is incredibly
banned.
honest because you look at
Yeah,
him and he has
yeah,
got that
okay.
look that you just walked into the bar and you're
It's
not
like-
supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and Kevin's going to throw you out.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's hard to like not try to remember what these things are going forward and like grade this relatively.
But that's why we get
like
the
a B or an A.
we get the movie. I think
think
this
it'll
is
be
really,
an
this
A.
has actually surprised me how much I enjoy this one.
Oh wow. I was gonna say C or B. So
So-
I guess maybe B is where
B?
we'll
Should we
I
land
think
on
B, yeah, because like from a composition perspective, it's significantly more interesting.
The red helps a lot. The red helps a lot.
Right? Look at that. Much more. The red is good, and
I like
and
that
I
it's
think
just zoomed
it
in.
represents him. So let's
Yeah.
put him in
Yeah.
B for now. Kevin, congratulations, you go in B. All right, so now we're on to
Oh,
Zhou
Zhou. Oh no.
Ooh, ooh,
Oh.
Zhou got
So
two
it's
shot,
got
two
two
shot
shots.
Zhou. Look at him. Hey, come
Okay.
on. Now,
Look at
He
this.
is
Look at
so
the
smarmy looking. Like look at
Uh-huh.
his
look at the transition, this like color flash
wipe?
between the
Yeah.
it's not
That's
quite
nice,
a
though.
wipe, it's like a just a burst of
flash?
color. It's still a hard cut, but you get like this
it's just like a burst going across.
yeah.
very cool. Now, this
Pretty
is,
nice little
I'm going to
flourish.
say, I like Zhou Guanyu. He's cool. He dresses real good. This is a lot of effort for Zhou Guanyu, in my opinion.
That second shot where he's
Yeah.
looking down on you and with that facial expression is ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
Look at it.
That
Look at
is
that.
for a race winner, and he has not done that. Right? Like a race winner gets to do this. Zhou Guanyu
Yeah.
does not get to do this.
The looking down, not good.
Yeah, it's a classic trick to make one appear like dominant or like larger than life. And it seems like that's a miscast in this case. I think the front, even as cheesy as the arm crossing is,
It's
I
fine.
think
It's fine.
the front one, the first
Fine.
shot,
I
a
would
little bit
say,
better.
in general, for these guys, an arm cross is about as good as you can hope from them.
Yeah. I
Right?
mean, they're not models.
They're not
except for
models.
Hamilton.
Like this is probably going to be something I bring up a lot. Sometimes I feel so sorry for these drivers. Like,
Yeah, they just have to, like-
want to race cars, and like,
Like, they don't have to
they
do all
are
this crap.
they are put in so many situations. You know, it's
Yeah.
like
I
just
don't
let them
actually
drive
blame
cars.
them for any of this.
No,
That's the thing.
absolutely
Like, they have,
zero. No,
I'm sure they shot 30 different things, and this is just what someone picked.
like we will. I'm sure we will talk more about the George Russell T-pose, which is not. in
Oh
this video.
yes.
But like I saw a video of him once explaining the T-pose, and it was like, he's like, I don't know, I was there for an hour. Like they're just, I'm
I
just
did a
like
bunch of
doing
stuff.
stuff, and that was what they chose.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Zhou thing, it is not honest. Like, this is not. He does not. Maybe he is. I'm sure he is. Like all of them are this arrogant because they're F1 drivers, but he does not
They're the
live
20
up
best
to
drivers
this.
in the world, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
but he doesn't live up to that.
No.
Like he doesn't. He can't.
in a
cash this check.
vacuum, I accept this from him because he can drive a Formula One car, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but not.
But not when
Not
he's in
relative.
between the rest, unfortunately.
No.
But so we're going to say honesty, not good, but
not
shot composition and direction. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Well, I mean, check on the second shot. You can see a lighting rig. Look up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can see the
Oh,
ceiling.
Oh yeah.
It's like a lighting pole.
You
up
also
there.
get the edge of the
Gotta edit
screen,
that
right? You
out.
can see the edge of the screen. There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which kind of creates a nice line. But yeah, seeing the rig, that's points
is no good.
deducted.
Do you think?
do
so?
think-
I think the rig is part of it personally. Like
What do
they're
you mean
not
part of it?
lying about where they are. They're not like in a void where the screen is
Oh, I
behind
think they're
them.
trying to.
Yeah, I don't
know.
think they want this to look like a studio. I think they want
Okay.
it to.
It's like a virtual world of.
It's interesting to imagine this shot not cutting and just being like the Logan one, like a full, just a
Yeah,
punch.
why don't they
in
just
of
do that
him.
right there? Just do that.
That should
Yeah.
be the whole thing, really.
Should
Shouldn't
be
it?
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now he gets 43 frames, which is
Whoa.
43 frames.
quite a lot, honestly.
It's a lot of frames.
Quite a lot.
Well, I don't.
you
you
know,
know,
here's the thing to consider. How popular is that person within a different region?
Uh-huh.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's a Chinese driver. He's
Yeah.
the Chinese.
He's
and
the
first
Chinese
driver.
driver, so this might get him a little bit of extra time, right? Big
Yeah, I don't-
audience.
I don't know how to grade this.
This feels like firmly C tier.
Yeah,
I
that's what
agree.
I was thinking. It's not a
Yeah.
D.
No,
Yeah,
it's
not a
definitely
D.
not a D. Definitely not a D.
Okay.
Next up,
Show.
so our friend Daniel
Oh, Danny
Ricciardo,
Rick.
who is the person who got added to this, replacing Nick DeVries. So I actually do
Oh.
feel here
Mm.
to consider that if we want to look at frames, because he had to be inserted into an existing
Well-
thing, right?
Well, no, that was last year.
No, that was this year, right? Or was it?
No,
Sorry,
last
last
year.
year.
It was last
You're right.
year.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, ready for Daniel Ricciardo?
Okay, Danny Rick.
Not good enough.
That's
30
all did you
30
get for Danny
frames.
Rick?
The shortest
I
so
want
far.
what we had last year, right? Last year,
Yes, where he showed his teeth.
big
Yeah, I was
toothy
about to say
grin
he's got
because
such
he's
a
like,
good teeth smile.
haha,
His-
I'm back, right? Like that was the look
Yeah.
last time. It was great.
The honey
So
badger's back.
here's an origin story. His insertion into the intro last year with that big toothy smile,
Mhm.
I think is what set me down this path of like, it would be funny to rank how good their intros are because it was so different
Yes.
than any of the other intros. And it was so authentic to him, this like big goofy smile that was,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to look like a tough superhero. Like I'm a goofy guy and
Mhm.
I'm going to show it off in
And
this
it's
intro.
dripping in palace intrigue too, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's like where even that the F1 like the director or the editor chose that of like, oh yeah, we all know why he's here. Like he bumped
Yeah.
someone off, and everybody loves Danny, so we'll
And
put
he's a
him in.
marketing guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's interesting to me that this shot compared to last year is almost identical in
Mhm.
terms of the framing and the composition. It's just smiling with teeth versus not. And I think and he looks quite a bit more arrogant in this one instead of kind of goofy.
I will
It's
say,
like
though,
happy.
shot angle.
This one does feel the most honest because he does like he's bobbing his head. He's a big smart. You know,
Mhm.
like we know that's Daniel Ricciardo. Like it's not as good as the previous one, but
Yeah.
we know his personality. This is part of his personality.
But you know that he had a big toothy smile in this shoot somewhere. Why didn't
Well,
they use that?
But can we? Oh, I guess yeah, this shit. But we can't. It's difficult to yeah.
You don't want to repeat
But I
the
just
previous years.
judges there. I judge the editing and the directorial because you know that they had a big toothy
Mhm.
grin. He's like
See,
super.
yes, I agree with that. It's a direction issue, but as from the honesty part of the rubric, I would say that this.
Yeah,
marks
yeah,
pretty
It's
high.
still Daniel Ricciardo. It's
Yeah.
not like off-putting
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But it's weird the crop with like his top of his head's cropped off,
Yes,
and
it's
then
very
the whole
close.
like chin up
Mhm.
thing is a little like. I
What
don't
a chin,
ever
though.
read.
What a chin he has.
It's a
you
little
know?
too high. Generally, I
Yeah.
think generally as a rule, you want the eyes to kind of hit like a third of the way down the frame, and they're it's a little too high, I think.
And he's
Which
just Daniel
maybe-
Ricciardo was not arrogant like that though either.
Yeah.
He might be. He
Yeah,
might
in real
be.
life. But does he ever come off that way in camera? Like never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
He's always affable.
So where are we
Mhm.
putting old Danny Rick then? What do we rank him?
It's not an A.
It's not
I'd
an
say
A.
B or C.
I
think.
don't know if it's a B. I don't know if
C?
it's a
I'm
B.
I'm happy with C.
Yeah,
No, look,
yeah,
this is
I'm not going
Kevin.
to argue with C.
See, because I think Kevin's
The
visually
rotation adds a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
visually
Yeah,
is
okay.
better, and
Well, I'm C. Let's just see it
Yeah.
up. See it up. see it up.
Daniel Cicado. There he
Daniel-
goes.
Daniel Rick.
Now, no one's got into ARS yet, which is interesting.
Yeah. We're harsh judges.
Is that going to change with Nico Hulkenberg? Who's next
Nico Hülkenberg.
Hülkenberg. Oh, hello.
Whoa.
Who's this?
whoa,
Who's
whoa,
this
whoa,
stranger?
whoa.
Who's
In the
this masked
shadows.
man in the shadows? Wow. Okay. I think maybe this is a moment where the music is doing something, right? Like,
Dun dun dun. How many frames does he get?
This is 45 frames, the longest so far.
Oh.
wow.
Well, you know, a lot of that. I bet you're right, Mike. I bet there's a transition or something going on that
mean-
makes this feel right.
I can put the
Mhm.
music on for the people watching. You're not going to hear it, I don't think. So
Mhm.
I can at least let you know. Yeah, it is.
There's like a dun dun dun.
It's like
something.
dun-dun-dun. He likes the fanfare. So it is.
Okay.
He's getting a little bit of the
Just a little
fanfare
fill.
in there. Yeah,
Mhm.
which I
Now-
think is helping.
This pose is so lifeless. Look at it.
Yep.
Bad.
Oh look, we have a bit of head movement.
Yeah, he does move his
He
head.
does move his head.
Yeah.
Now that
And look at how
is
look how
important.
it's in concert with the H
With
and
the
the U
letters.
animating on.
Look, I gotta say, this adds a lot. This adds
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, now
It's
that's
like,
cool shot.
Who's this beautiful man? You know, why can't we see his face
Yeah.
yet? Oh, it's Nico.
There he is.
You know,
Nico
there he is. You didn't know
Hülkenberg.
it was going to be Nico, and there he is.
Mhm.
That does add a
Well,
lot for me.
yeah, I like the direction. The direction's great on this actually. With that, I also like the light coming out on the like shadowy
Mhm.
shot.
Mm,
The lights
mhm.
coming in. That's really cool. Like that's a
Nico
rad
gets
shot.
the F1 logo appearing.
Yeah, it's like the
half
curve of the
behind him.
F1 logo.
Like
Mhm.
this is one. You
Mhm.
know when you see these things where it's like, which I never really believe are true, where they're like, I asked my partner to tell me the name of these people or whatever. You know, like you've seen this meme before, and like they come up
Mhm.
with like fake names for someone. Anyway,
Mhm.
but this is if you showed this to someone, you would have like who didn't know Nico Hulkenberg, they'd be like, oh, that guy's probably pretty important.
He's probably like a
Uh-huh.
bad guy.
Like, yeah, he's
Yeah.
the villain, or he's like the guy everyone wants to be. You know, so I think
Yeah.
this is they did a good job for Nico, who has two
Yeah.
shots over 45 frames. He's got the highest frame count so far.
Yeah. He's this is the widest shot so far
Mhm.
Yeah,
of
getting some
the
knees.
ones we've seen. Not really a close up on his face.
I think it probably is pretty Nico. Nico Hulkenberg seems pretty like straightforward.
Mhm.
He's kind of
Mhm.
silly, I think, a little bit, but he seems. This doesn't seem off to me as
No.
an honesty thing.
Yeah. It's pretty if this maybe this should be another rubric, like if this was your intro, like how satisfied would you be?
I like
Or would
that.
you be disappointed? Like, wow, why did they
That's
choose
fine.
this post I did? And if this were me, I'd be like
I'd be happy.
pretty like, okay, they didn't embarrass me. Like I'm
Yeah.
happy
Well,
with
also
this.
because you get this part, which is the best
Yeah.
part. This is the
Yeah.
best, in my opinion. This is the best part of the intro so far, like of all of
I
them.
mean,
Yeah.
we're not gonna get. Are we gonna give this an A?
I don't think this is A, but he could join his partner there in B.
Well, let me just fight for this for a second. Shot composition, direction. I think this is S. Like this looks
Mm.
great, and there's so much going
Mhm.
on. Look at all. There's like several
Light
sets of
coming.
lights going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's moving all over Nico. Now, I think this is an A.
Wow.
I think we give it an A for just the for
There's
that
a lot happening.
creativity.
Okay.
Again, we can come back to
down
it.
with
We can
that.
come back to it. I just think that it is better than Kevin's.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
true.
And
For sure,
Kevin is
sure.
in B, and I would say it is markedly better than that.
Okay.
All right. Next up,
Ooh.
Valtteri
Valtteri.
Bottas. Now we're already starting off. All right, we're starting off. You
so
see the
good.
outline of a mullet before it even begins, you know?
Just a couple little tassels.
Whoa! Let's go. Come on. Now, this is easy. This is easy. Look at him.
There's something so unnatural going on with it.
Yeah.
I think they've retimed his spin. I think they slightly sped it
Sped it up and then
Yeah.
slowed it
something.
down. Yeah. Yeah.
It looks a little unnatural.
No one's
not in a
moving
bad
in
way
this
necessarily.
exact like way. It's strange. There is.
Mhm.
They wanted to get. So here's what
Look
I
at-
think is happening. They wanted to get the mullet in the. They wanted this.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, it's like, hey, show your mullet.
That's,
Yeah.
that's the whole point of the shot. Look at the end of that transition, how you start to see his face. It's not kept in shadow the
The
entire
transition
time.
is super weird. The fact that the end
Yeah,
is
like-
like his face and a weird ghost off the side of the like that's so
I didn't
weird.
notice that.
That's
Woo!
what and then the fact that it comes over the steak logo, it like makes it seem even brighter.
It's
like
kind
that
of messy.
bright flash,
Yeah.
Well,
messy.
This big high school photo vibe. This one little part.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you kind of get him in the side, which I
Yeah.
think it might be going for, honestly.
Where I rank this highly is kind of the winking kind of self-awareness. Like the
Yeah.
whole point of this shot is like, this guy is a mullet. Let's like,
And
we're
a
gonna
mustache, a mullet
we're
and a
gonna sh-
mustache.
yeah, we're gonna shoot the back of his head at first and have him spin around. You know,
And it's not like Valtteri is like an
No,
Mhm.
like and he has a mullet and he's like it's obviously a joke and he's playful about it. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not
this
serious.
is I think maybe hits highest on the honesty part.
Mhm.
For like if
Yeah,
you follow Valtteri
yeah.
on social media, like this is who
Yeah.
he is. Like for
Yeah.
him, the mullet, he likes it, but it is fun. Like he does it for the
Yeah.
joke factor as much as for the
and the little slight smile
yep.
that you get after is like
Yes.
very real.
He's
yeah.
smiling in the eyes because he knows
Yeah.
what he's giving you.
Yeah.
He's like,
it's
"Oh, you
good.
thought it was just mullet? Check out this mustache."
The only thing I can detract from this is the end of that transition, the weird face.
No, you
That's
know
just
what?
Yeah.
Weird.
I love it
Yeah.
more. I love this more. This is like a secret treat for me now because I hadn't noticed it before. Look at it. Look at him. I might make this my desktop wallpaper.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like this is A. I don't know if it's S territory. I guess it probably. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Damn, what
It
do you
seemed
think?
like Mike, it seemed like you were ready to
I don't
anoint
want
this
to. I don't
S
want to.
tier.
I don't want to keep tipping them. So I want to know where you are. This, consensus rules.
I do have quibbles with some of the editing. Like I think the transition between these two shots is a little bit
Poor.
sloppy or
Mhm.
just kind of confusing.
Mhm.
But it earns such high marks in the other categories. I'm tempted for this to be our first S tier for now, and we'll see if we need to
I
reshuffle.
could not agree more.
Yeah.
It's
fine.
not
I'm-
perfect,
It's
but
not
it's
perfect.
darn close.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know how I couldn't ask for more. I just want like I don't ask for more, but maybe they could change one thing. That's
Yeah.
kind of where I am with it. Like
A
as much as I
40
love this, it shouldn't be there, or they should have made more of a thing about it. Like actually have it there, and then he turns around on the other side. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
really lean into the high school photo of it all. Just keep him there. All right, next up.
49 frames, which is the current
Ah.
current leader in terms of length.
Now, as an opening, you see him? He's in there.
Oh,
He's like peeking. Here's Yuki.
Peeking
Here I
through.
am. Oh, Yuki. Oh, Yuki.
I've gathered a couple YouTube comments. Sonoda was like a 3D render. Sonoda just standing there like an NPC.
Oh, Yuki.
To me, you couldn't score lower on the honesty scale.
Yes.
It's like, hey, here's a super passionate, fiery
Fun guy. Like it also
Yeah.
he's always cracking jokes too, right? Like
Yeah.
outside. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he has two very distinct parts of his personality, and this shows zero of either of them.
Yeah.
Well, and he's so short. To have him framed this way is also dishonest.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
like
Yep.
show that. Like give
Mhm.
some more crop on the top. Like this is a huge part of I think him.
If anything,
too.
in
It's
this,
just
they're
a
making him
small
look
guy.
tall because you don't see the top of his
Yeah.
head. It's like,
Yeah.
look how tall
Yeah.
this guy is. We can't even fit
This
him in
is
the camera.
also that's a strange composition. I'm wondering, as I mentioned before, like I think his eyes are too high in the frame, but it could be because
The name.
they're leaving room for the titles for the name
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a plausible
Now,
explanation.
he
But
does get the cool lights, right? So he
Yeah,
has
that
that
is-
lights
going
are
for
cool.
him.
yeah, yeah.
And the whole, even just the way it's very starts, he's like on shadow, except for his little tiny part of his face, and then it.
My
Mhm.
favorite
is cool.
part is how his eyes open a little bit more.
Oh, so he actually does move. It isn't like a wax figurine.
Yeah. That is the only indication that we have that this is a real person, is his eyes. Where
Yeah.
I think it gets a little bit brighter and he's like, he's a bit shocked by it.
I'd have a hard time putting this anywhere other than D.
Yeah. Which is a shame. But
It is a shame.
Yeah.
it does look
I
good,
mean,
but it's lacking
does
so
look good.
much. It's lacking
Mhm.
so much though.
I don't know. You think it's? I feel like it's better than the Sergeant one, though.
Better enough to get up to C though.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
this is where we get into the ability of we can rank within the
Oh,
Okay.
that's true.
right.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
could
Well, then just stick him down in D, and we'll decide.
so
what
we
to
can
do with
put him like
later.
to the left there, right? So we can make the left on the best. Which I also
Okay.
feel like for C is accurate too. I liked
Mm.
Shogun Yu's more than Daniel Ricciardo's.
Okay.
All right, next up, Alex Albon.
That's it.
So this is near very similar to Magnuson's, just a slightly wider shot, but it's conceptually the same idea. We're gonna do a slight rotation and just follow
Yeah.
the camera with your
But
eyes.
no, not as much blue, cool lighting.
Yeah.
This doesn't work for me in the way that it did for Magnussen.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
flat.
Because also Alex Albon is also doesn't give me tough guy, right? Like
No, he
Magnussen
is certainly
tough
not
guy.
tough guy.
Alex
Mhm.
Albon is fun. He's a nice guy. He seems like a really,
Yeah.
really genuine good dude. This
Mhm.
is not working for me in the way that it worked for Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the blue light isn't as good as the red light.
Yeah.
This one doesn't really have
Yeah.
much. It's not really giving me anything.
No, this is like bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, this might be D too, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they kind of did him bad.
There's
But
just nothing to speak for. It's just boring.
I would put it maybe. Okay, does it go above Yuki?
No, I think Yuki's is cooler. There's visuals on Yuki that are way cooler.
But I think it's
This
better than
is-
Logan's though.
Yeah, Logan's is just,
Really?
I think it's
Yeah.
better than Logan's. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we'll see.
Logan looks like it caught him by surprise. Like he didn't know what he was there to do that day.
You're just waiting around, and they did that. And then, oh wait, I'm on camera. Oh, Albin,
Esteban Ocon.
Esteban Ocon.
Now Esteban walking. Now that's new.
Yeah.
That's
That is new.
He means business.
Here's my favorite little Easter egg I discovered while cutting up these clips. Go to the last frame. Look at that person lurking in the shadows. It's one Pierre Gasly.
Oh wow!
Really?
It's the beginning of the transition to the next
Oh.
racer, and it's the only time when they have like an overlap where you can see.
Now that feels intentional,
That's-
right?
Yes, yes.
That's
Yes.
that is very intentional. Now that rises this one for me, but not for Esteban in that way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
that's giving this one a bit of extra, but
Yeah, no, I think that might give that should boost Pierre's. And,
I like that.
maybe-
I
yeah.
like that. Yes,
it in.
yes. That is a
Well,
that is a
I like
Pierre
the
boost.
pink.
Mhm.
The pink,
Mhm.
the fact that the pink washes across, like it's on the right and the left. Or his
Yeah.
right,
I
left.
think
That's
it's
cool.
I think the shot is too dark. I think his face is not illuminated enough.
Yeah,
It's
and
fine
then-
to start in the dark, but it never really you don't
And the
really
problem
see it.
is,
And the moment he
even
gets
when the light
illuminated,
comes
you
in,
can't
it's
see
lens
him.
flared out.
Yeah, you can't see him
Yeah.
anymore. It's like
Yeah.
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 Would have worked if you would have walked into light. But
I
then
like the
lens flares
walking.
out.
I will say
Yeah.
I like the walking.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Mhm.
That is a good. I would say honest for an F1 driver. Like he's on the
Mhm.
move. You know, like
Mhm.
that kind of
Mhm.
fits. And also, he looks smug, and that feels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
he
also
does look
seems
smug.
it seems
Yeah.
true to Esteban.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, honesty's good. Visually, though,
I think this is pretty subpar visually.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think we're not really. It just looks kind of muddy.
you never
and
get to
not-
see him. Yeah, you never get to see him.
The separation of the foreground and the background is not. It's all kind of just smushed together. Kind
This
of blurred
direction,
together.
I think, is good if you're going for a second shot, and the 2nd
Mhm.
shot is
It's
him.
like him, like a
stopping,
full on.
you know, like he's come to
Yeah.
a stop, maybe. Like, so
Yeah.
you're
Well, what is it? A B or a C? I mean,
I think it's a C. I think it's a C
I think C. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
because
Okay.
we're getting something out of that. You know,
This shadowy figure behind him.
is it better than Zhou Guan Yu?
Pierre
Uh,
Gasly? Probably
I-
not. Probably not. 'cause you
Yeah,
can't
I don't
see
think
him.
so. Yeah.
Better than Daniel Ricciardo, though. Again, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
I
Daniel
think-
Carter is just like could be so much better.
Yeah,
Daniel Carter could have been an
could have been
S.
great. So now we have our shadowy, our shadowy man. Look,
There's
you
a
can
villain.
see it. You can see.
that
Oh, it's
villain.
good. It's real good. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Ooh,
I'd never
now talk
noticed
about
that.
a villain.
What is that?
So-
What is going on here?
I'm gonna spill the beans. I'm just gonna call this straight S tier. This is probably my favorite one.
Okay. Why?
I think it's the only driver that looks comfortable and
Yeah.
somewhat
Okay.
natural.
Yes.
does look
all right,
like-
yeah.
All the others all the other drivers look like they were directed to do something, and this looks like he was just kind of naturally.
And he is a model. Like
Yeah,
he does a
Pierre is a
bunch
model.
of stuff for
Yeah.
Chanel and whatever,
Yeah.
right?
The-
So
Pierre, I will.
Yeah.
You know what? At first, I wasn't sure, but the more you've sold me on this, Pierre looks like he understands the job,
Yeah.
and is looking. He's giving eye contact to the camera. Like
and
Yeah.
the movement.
In
The
his
movement
movement.
is just good. It just feels like
Yeah.
he's bouncing like he's
and
active.
he's doing that on his own. Like the
Yeah.
camera is
Yeah.
pretty much stationary. He's making the shot interesting with his.
Now look at the
choice.
little
Yep.
bump at the end. Like you could tell he's like active in it, you know?
Yep.
Mhm, mhm.
And
And
it's
so
cool.
even-
This dark thing is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the lurking behind Esteban is what puts it over the top.
You know,
if we were
wow. Yeah, because he also gets he has not only what we'll call the man in black bump, but he has it lurking over a competitor and his main
Yeah.
rival, which
Yeah.
is kind of an incredible thing to get. So yeah, I think S
Mhm.
tier. We're gonna give him S tier. This is the best one.
Yeah.
I will agree. So far,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is the best one. This even edges out Valtteri.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we
Ooh,
go.
Lance. Here we go.
Lance Stroll. Oh, sexy Lance.
I'll say this: the looking down and then looking up. There isn't a more, how do I say this? There isn't a clearer example of, like, you can hear the director off camera saying,
Mhm.
"Okay, now look up." Like, it's such an obvious, unnatural, like, directed thing to do that
Every
I
single
hate
one
the
of these
looking down,
guys
looking up.
has this take. There is a
Yeah.
take for all of them that is exactly this, right? Because it is the thing that you do to get someone to look sexy. You have them look down and then look at you. Like, and that's what they're doing with sexy
And Lance
Lance.
Stroll is not the one I would pick to be like, let's make this guy look sexy.
Well, I think they did it. Look at him. He's smoldering at you.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah. I mean,
I don't like
I'm
this
so
one, though.
biased
I
by
don't like
Yeah.
this one.
I don't like this
nepotism
one
that is
either.
Lance Stroll. That it's just like
This is definitely a D tier.
it's visually
Yeah.
pretty boring.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on the screen back there. All the others of this type of shot with a rotation, you've got kind of swirling light patterns. and
Where's the
that's
green
just,
light?
yeah,
I do
it's very
think
still.
this would be top of D tier, though. Because, like,
Mm,
it's better than Yuki. It is like Yuki
Oh,
is
yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
0.
yeah. Well, Yuki probably shouldn't be at the top of the D tier. I really dislike this shot. Like the looking up thing just really bothers me because it looks so unnatural.
So
in
you
the
would put it
context, at
lower?
least.
Because I think the reason we put
probably,
Yuki at
yeah.
the top is, like, what we've got in D tier is a bunch of guys not giving anything, right?
Mm,
And
mm.
at least Yuki's was visually interesting. Now Lance
Yeah.
is at least giving something.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
he's not being like a
I
pouty
can buy
brat.
that.
So
I can buy that. Yeah.
okay. Oscar Piastri.
Come on.
So again, with the kind of, we're gonna put the camera low to make you look kind of like a big villain, larger than life, kind of
which is like
dominating.
literally the opposite of Oscar Piastri.
Yeah.
Okay,
Could you
look,
think of a less villainous
Oscar
F1
Piastri is an
He should have had the
incredible.
Yuki Tsunoda treatment.
Oscar Piastri is an incredible racing driver. I think
Yeah.
Oscar Piastri has shown this season so far he has it in him to win a world championship. I do think he has
Mhm.
shown that.
Yeah.
What Oscar lacks is a personality. Like he
Yeah.
he
I-
gives 0 to anything at all times.
Oscar Piastri is probably my favorite driver currently.
I
and
can see that.
I get really strong like Tim Duncan vibes from him, where it's
just
if
like
anyone's
fundamentals.
yeah, or just like or the kind of calm demeanor.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
If anyone wants to laugh, like do a search for the Onion articles about Tim Duncan, and there'll be articles about him like doing his teammates' taxes and stuff. But I kind of project that like calmness and boringness onto Oscar, and I actually like really like it. And so I think this intro is kind of a mismatch for that
Yeah.
personality type.
The first shot's cool looking. I mean, the red
Yeah.
X thing is strange. Like, why put a red X over someone?
That is interesting. I feel like
like-
we haven't. I mean, there's also some grid, like some
Mhm.
grid lines there.
It's
cross grid.
Very Marquez Brownlee, like
Yes, it
very
is.
like 5 years ago.
The thing about Oscar, right, is that he is kind of like he is like the create a character in the F1 video game, right?
Yeah.
Where like he is absolutely overpowered, but can't have a
Looks
personality
vanilla.
because they've already built the story and like he's put
Yeah.
into like you've never seen someone react the way he reacts when he wins and when he loses, it's essentially the same guy. And I
Yeah.
find that to be interesting because I think what it
Mhm,
tells
yeah.
me is it's not enough for him, which
Yeah.
I think is what is making him so good. Like it's kind of like one win is not enough for Oscar. Like he wants to win
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah. And he just looks uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
it's like obvious.
But
Like,
again, like if you follow the McLaren Instagram account, there's a lot of uncomfortable Oscar because they make him do a lot of things that I just don't think he wants to do any of it.
He looks pretty smug here too, which maybe is a result of like the lower
he
camera.
seems
which
mad.
I,
He's like, why do you make me do this
Why are
crap?
you making me do
Yeah.
this? That's what I get from this. I would put this C. Like I
Yeah,
like the orange,
feel
I
good
like the
about C.
lights. He gets look,
Yeah.
he's got the Man in Black treatment,
Mhm,
right? So he's
mhm.
got that. We know that. He's also got a big red X on him for some reason, whatever that might mean. He's got that.
Yeah, I think this is pretty bad. I could actually put this in D, but we got so many in D that
I think this is C. I think this
Yeah.
is C.
Yeah, it's at least a little more interesting than the D ones. A little more going on.
Now my boy George Russell, in really,
Georgie
you
They
know,
did us dirty this year.
yeah,
Another walking one.
love a walking one. Now I'm gonna say 33 frames for George Russell doesn't feel right.
Absolute disgrace.
What I do appreciate, so obviously George did the T pose, which
Yeah.
went incredibly viral. I do
there are
think
many.
they actually did the right thing in just giving him a regular one, because like
yeah.
how like
Not
you know
pose
next
guy.
year he's doing a headstand. Like what
Yeah.
were they gonna
Yeah.
do for him?
He's like doing the splits between two walls.
Yeah, it's like the T pose thing was funny because it wasn't his personality, right? Like
Yeah.
that's not George
It was
Russell.
so contrived and weird.
But this one is just bad, which is a shame because I think he deserves
Yeah.
more.
I do think it's a little more successful than the Esteban one, at least from there's
could
good
see 'em.
foreground and background
Yeah.
separation. It's not just
But it's
a
weird that it goes
mess.
light to dark.
Yeah, it goes dark he goes like walking into shadows
Yep.
at the
Yeah,
end.
that's weird.
Yeah, it would have been better reversed coming out.
Yeah,
of
and the
shadow.
lighting, if you look at the lighting when he's fully in frame, it's pretty flat and bad. Like put some
Yeah.
green pop in there. Like Deuce,
Mhm.
it's like they're already going
It
full
is
on like
weird
techno screensaver.
That some of them get the like the colored fill lights.
They
And
should
some of them
all
don't.
have it.
Like it is
Mhm.
strange. Like why isn't there like a beautiful teal light on him right now? You know?
There's nothing subtle about this entire thing. So why would they not just
Mhm.
throw the kitchen
Honestly,
sink at
there
it?
should be pyrotechnics.
Yeah,
At this
there
point.
should be.
At this point, there
Colored
should be pyrotechnics.
pyrotechnics.
Well, this is a really interesting project to think about in the totality of it, because like as we discussed, like what they do is they have the drivers come in and they film them for 30 minutes or an hour and they do all kinds of poses. But then the editing, you're not just editing each driver in isolation as we're kind of like evaluating them, but they have to make the entire piece work. So it could be like, we don't want these two back to back. Like this
Yeah.
walking pose is really good, but now we can't do a walking pose for this
Yeah.
guy because that'll look weird. So you're making decisions
Yeah.
based on,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
sure it's more complex than what we're
Yeah.
critiquing it, but it's just like, why not film this with a color LED pop on the side?
yeah.
You know?
I
Like-
would say this is a solid C tier because like
Yeah.
there isn't to me anything offensive about it, but
Yeah.
it's also like
It's just
super
been better
like
pretty
what
easily.
could you bare minimum do? And I think they bare
and this
minimum
kind of feels
did it.
George Russell-y. It doesn't feel
Yes.
way off George Russell-y.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here he is, Carlos Sainz, number
Carlos.
55. Terrible.
Awkward.
Terrible.
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 So terrible. His kind of like weird smile too is really disturbing.
And it's like he's
Uh,
putting his chin's tucking in.
You know
like he's
what
going
this
like-
one looks like to me? It looks like a Sora video.
Yeah, it does look fake. This
It
looks
doesn't
like
look
AI
real
fake
because
video.
like his head is kind of moving in a really weird
I think
way.
he's pulling his chin in.
He's
I think
pulling
he's
his
going,
chin in, but he's also like ever so slightly moving his head to follow the
Yeah.
camera. But it makes it look like it's just unhuman. Like
Yeah,
this
it's
is
really
bad.
real bad. This
Carlos
is
Sainz is
bad.
such a handsome guy.
and he's
Yeah.
so,
And
so fun too. you know?
Ferrari red. I mean, it's like, come on, guys. And look at the
Yeah.
weird light on his hair. Like, why is
Yeah,
that
it's
the
like a-
only red pop? It's like a pink out silhouette.
Yeah.
This
Some
is
key
to
lighting
me.
going on.
D
This
central.
is D. This is like just above Logan. I
They
think.
they
Yeah.
did him dirty with this.
Real
did
one.
him
bad.
dirty.
He deserved
real
better.
bad. This is real
He's,
bad.
you know, because Carlos Sainz is a handsome man.
He's a smooth
He really
operator.
is.
Yeah.
Look how many C's and D's we have.
Yeah,
These
well.
kind of what I expected. Most of these
Yeah.
are very bad.
Yeah, guess who should be directing this next year?
I know. Bring
Give
the
us a
three
call,
of us
F1.
in. It's like
Just
we can
everyone's
make this
doing a
work.
T pose. Oh no. What if
all
we don't-
together as well. Just one
Made a
shot. They're all
mistake.
doing it. Man in Black.
Lando.
There we go.
Man in Black. You know I love it. Oh, I love this.
Now,
It's like he can't even be bothered to be here.
It's kind of
howdy,
sassy.
I
howdy,
like it.
Lando.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, all right, I guess I'll
like,
do
"Come
this,
on."
will I? You know, I could win the drivers' championship. Can't I just go race some cars? Oh, I love this. This is good."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh God, guess I'll walk. Do what everybody else does now. I like this. This is good." This is
Ah,
good.
what? See, now that we see some of these Men in Blacks, I'm kind of like, want to
Kinda
pop
over it
down. I want to
already.
push down Nico and be like, okay,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
there's
it's
so
yeah,
many
yeah,
of
yeah.
them.
This
It's
does
not
remove
unique
Nico.
anymore.
This is because I
Yeah.
like this more than Nico's, but we can think about that. So
well, so
go on.
I do like just the lighting of the Man in Black one is really cool. Like even right there, that is
Mhm.
rad.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know what
But
I
the
also like
sassy
about this
walk.
one. You know who that is.
Yeah, you know who
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
It's
And
like
some
oh,
of the
there's
others,
Lando.
you're like, who's this guy? But this is like, oh, that's Lando. Like you know that's
Yeah.
Lando. Like
Well,
the
we
hair.
knew the Valtteri silhouette was Valtteri pretty
I mean,
immediately. too.
obviously. Valtteri's even more.
I cannot abide this sassy walk though.
Oh, I
This-
like it.
Pouty walk.
It's a very pouty, sassy walk. Very wide shot too. We don't get really a close up
And you
on his
also
face is all.
actually, I'm gonna say on that, Lando.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's real good. I like
kind
that
of
a lot.
justifies. Yeah.
Yeah, like 'cause
Yeah,
that is
certainly justifies the wide shot.
that
Yeah.
feels like you're making a statement with him, which
Mhm,
I like that. That bumps it up for me again. I
Mhm.
like this one.
This center.
You know, I guess it's
we-
just pretty honest because I think
Yeah.
I think Lando is a sassy.
I-
Thanks for giving me some editing work.
I know. Beep.
No, this does feel pretty honest. I do like, yeah, like center of the frame, big title stretching the full width, and then his name card is also centered, which is pretty rare. We haven't seen that too much. It's usually off to one side. So I like the framing of this shot. Like this is pretty successful to me.
I would say A.
Yeah, I think it's an
Ooh.
A. Although I
Yeah.
wouldn't have said that, but
A
it's
or
just
B?
because I believe his sassy walk that is actually was really happening.
Yeah,
That's honest.
it's authentic. Yeah.
It's like I am tired of this.
A tier.
Okay,
All right.
Ooh,
Shaw.
Charlie.
Charles?
Where's he looking? Why is he looking from off screen to off
He's looking for-
screen?
But
So
now talk
I-
about another handsome model man.
So handsome. To me, this is so much more successful than the down and then looking at the camera. Like
Okay.
if you're gonna look and then like change a direction, this to me looks so much better than it
Natural.
looks
Like humans
looks
do this.
so more natural. Shortest one of every driver, 28
Really?
frames. Yeah.
Charles.
Now here's an interesting thing, like an interesting thought, right? Like you go back to Lando, right? This isn't important, but just like a thought. All the sponsors, right? They're all in this. And they get that for free.
Mm-hmm.
Just Peroni. For
Yeah.
sure. Right? Like it's just like
Yeah.
an interesting thing that occurs because these
Mhm.
guys just wear them. Like Peroni gets an extra bump here. Like they get this every single time.
Yeah. If we're continuing the like, if this were you, would you be embarrassed or satisfied? I would be pretty happy if this
I would
Yeah, it's
ended
great.
up being
satisfied with
my
this.
shot. Yeah.
To me,
How
this
could
is
you
a
not
good
be
B
satisfied for
because
sure,
like
okay.
there really isn't much happening in it. Even though
Yeah.
it looks good, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's like B. It's like Kevin's. I mean, I think the lighting, that red pop should be more on his face. Like, why not do it?
Mm-hmm.
The lighting is not amazing, but yeah, I think it's B central.
Yeah. I could maybe argue for A, but I feel fine with B.
I don't think this is better
Keep
than
it-
Kevin Magnussen's
Oh, okay.
because
I
It
could
does
be
feel like
letting
Charlotte.
I could be letting my feelings of the driver influence, but it does feel like Charles. I agree with that too.
I
It's
think-
very
I agree with
Yeah.
you. I got more of Kevin from Kevin's
Mhm.
than I get from Charles. Because like here, Charles just what he is giving is like fun and handsome. I
Mhm.
don't get like really good.
Pretty smoke showing. He's like,
Mhm.
oh yeah. Not like technically competent.
Yeah.
It is smoke
Mhm.
show for sure.
And you can see a little bit of sadness behind those eyes.
Behind those eyes.
Kind
Not
of
living up to your
ever-present.
potential.
You see, he's just thinking about strategy.
Yeah.
And
right.
also, I might be number one right now, but soon
didn't
Lewis,
Have a bunch
Yeah.
of
Lewis
Italians.
joins the team. All right, who we got now? It's a man in black. We know that much.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis?
Oh,
Oh.
yeah!
man.
Come on,
That's wild.
Fernando.
that's a lot of face.
It's the tightest shot so far for sure.
We
eyes
get
are so
neither his
crispy.
forehead or his chin in this, so that's a
Yeah.
lot
But
of
he's
face.
got such striking eyes. You know?
I'm not complaining. I'm just
This
saying.
is so
Look at
both Aston Martins get the look down and then
Okay.
look up treatment.
Mm.
But
This
that
I
one
think is
works better.
much more successful, than the
Yeah.
Lance Stroll one.
And also, this
That's weird though.
no, this is absolute personality. That is a cheeky man, and that is Fernando Alonso, right?
Yeah, I just wish he was more fully blacked out.
No, I like
know.
it more. I just because look at him, look at that smile. He's up to no good. He's not even supposed to be there. You know, I like it.
And then he got serious all of a sudden.
And he also
Like,
gets the
I'm sitting
red.
here.
He gets the grid, whatever this is. He gets a bit
Yeah.
of that too. I like this one.
Yeah.
This one really okay. So it really works for me on the honesty part because like that is definitely part of
Mhm.
Fernando Alonso's personality. A huge
Yeah.
part is that he is mischievous, and this is very mischievous, and that is a very good shot because
Yeah.
Fernando Alonso is very handsome, and they
This
are
is like
really
the most
letting you
in
know it.
focus shot.
Yeah, they put a
feel
lot
like.
of effort into that one. And
You mean
again,
the shallowest depth of field?
It just feels so
Shot.
in focus, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure they're all in focus, but just
Mhm.
the close up with the eyebrows, and it just feels.
Yeah.
and it's really tracking on him too, right? Which is interesting.
Yeah, that's a shallow depth of field they got worked in there. I mean, his ears are completely
Yeah.
blown out. So,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I don't think it's an S.
No.
No. I don't
an
I would
A,
put it
though.
in B personally.
Yeah.
If we're
Yeah.
comfortable with that.
Yeah. I
Really?
think so.
With Magnuson? And I think it's got so much more going on than
It
those
does.
Bs.
I really don't like the look down and then look up thing. He's much better than Stroll at it, and that's why he would be 2
Mhm.
levels higher.
That's true.
Uh,
This part. This part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is what I think it would be top of B tier.
Uh-huh.
God.
That
I
feels
love
pretty
the
good.
crop that you gave for the image.
Yeah.
It's not even the full it's like even less,
Yeah.
No one can fit his face in the frame.
That Spaniard.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
This one
Hamilton.
usually gives Lewis Hamilton. He gets the dark, mysterious man in black character. Yeah. Oh yes, 3 shots.
3 shots.
Three
The first 3
shots.
shots.
Count this?
73 frames, the
Whoa.
longest of anyone.
I love this one. I mean, obviously,
I
big
hate this
bias.
one.
Oh, what? What are you talking about? Look at that. He's ready to play. No, and
I
Yeah,
fight.
he's
it.
ready to beat someone up.
Which
what it
is
looks like.
100% accurate to where he is in his life right now. He's like,
Ah.
I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight. I don't care what you say. I'm Lewis Hamilton.
I'm sold, except for the last couple frames.
I
like-
I don't like
Oh!
this. I
Is that
like
Max?
Where?
I think it is.
No, he's not the next one. It's Sergio.
Well, is it Sergio then? Weirdly, look, there's another head in there. I think that's
Oh,
Sergio
he's-
Perez.
He's cropping in. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Sergio's might
So
gonna
here's
get
my-
the bump.
Here's my argument against this. I think the first shot is cool, the man in black. I think the second shot is cool. The way he's kind of looking
That's-
like this
yeah,
is
that's
This is
cool.
that's Gasly-esque. Like
Yeah.
this.
No,
That
it's
is a
nice.
man who has been on a catwalk.
Yeah, it's the
So
person that's a model.
Yeah.
all my criticism is this third shot. It's so contrived.
Aggressive.
It's so corny.
Yes.
I don't even think it's reflective of his personality, which is
No.
like the elder statesman. Like he's so
Mm.
nice to the other drivers, like in the cool down room when he's like chewing the fat with them. Like this, like
And also, this is one of those ones where the previous years was so good, where he did do a look down and look up, but it looked real
Yeah.
good, and it was timed
Yeah.
perfectly to the music.
yeah,
Yeah.
that boom.
Well, this is
Yeah,
a
I
bit.
remember that.
This is a bit. I love it, but I agree that this part is a thing he did, but it's maybe not him.
Too modelly.
Yeah. I want to
Too
put it.
modelly.
I want to
Overly
put it
trained.
down to C.
No, I can't do that.
Now,
This-
I will say this: the first shot is awkward pose. Look at that.
Like with
Look at
the
that
arms kind of
weirdness.
away from
It
the.
moves so fast though, like when you
Yeah.
actually play it, that like
Mhm.
you get to see it's Lewis. You know, you're like, oh, it's Lewis. Here he is.
I don't think this can be. This cannot be a C. No way.
A B. I'd say it's a B.
Yeah, there's so much stuff
B.
going on.
Mhm.
Just because that last shot's weird.
Just a bunch of stuff going on doesn't necessarily make it good.
But there's
No,
like
but it's pretty
but
good.
2/3 of it are really good.
Great.
Like
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Like I
Give you
feel like
that.
if it would have ended here, be giving him an S
Yeah.
Yeah,
or an A.
or a S or an A.
But so that does bring it down. I will agree. So I think B, which is a shame. Although I
Yeah.
do still love it. But
Hammy,
I'm just I'm a
Hambo.
big bias. So let's see. Are we getting our? Yes. Look, it is.
Yeah, you're right. It does start to
So
encroach.
Sergio gets the bump now.
You know that Sergio Perez Lewis Hamilton classic rivalry.
intense rivalry.
They're usually so close to each other too. On the... All right, Sergio. Nice color. Nice color. Oh, Sergio.
Just terrible. Just
Oh,
terrible.
Sergio.
Yeah,
Same problem as Carlos. Like the weirdest smile
Sergio.
Yeah, so
Uh,
awkward.
is no good.
They
They
gave
didn't
him
do many
39
this year.
frames, and it was maybe 29 frames too many.
And it's like he's like holding in a fart or something.
It's bad.
It's really weird.
I also
like-
think
It's
there's
just childish.
I think there's too much going on with the lighting. Like
Mhm.
look how much his face changes.
Yeah,
Like
And
this
why does it
entire
go
time.
from? It goes from white to like his skin color to like dark red.
He has that
Yeah.
thing where, like, you've seen that, like, you know, those clips where it's like, oh, if you change the type of lens you have, it makes your face look different. He has like that
Yeah.
going on. It's like he's aging in front of us.
Oh, because
Like,
they're doing like a dolly zoom.
Yeah.
where just like
Yeah.
making his face distort.
If you cover up his mouth and you don't look at his mouth, it looks fine. It's his mouth is so weird. He's holding his lips super weird.
and this is
Yeah.
obviously D,
Poor guy.
right?
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
he gets the previously like given bump of being in the Lewis shot. Like he has to get that
Mm.
because we've established that. I mean,
Yeah,
he's probably above
feels-
Logan.
I don't know.
I
They did
guess
him real dirty on this.
I might
one.
put this. I might put this one
I think it's
like
last.
last.
I would feel so bad if I was Sergio with this.
I feel like we're
Well, I
forgetting.
don't know.
I
That
think
was pretty bad.
Every
too.
time you say that, I have to show you. This is as bad as it can possibly be.
My argument. So yes, basically true.
This is
but my
the first shot.
I think the what's going on the screen and the way it frames his head saves it from being the bottom worst shot. I would bump that alone. I would bump it ahead of Sergio's.
You would put Logan above Sergio.
I would, yeah. Guys, I think a blank expression is better than a weird expression.
Yeah.
And this is a weird
All right,
expression.
we'll
They
put
did
him
him
at the
so
bottom for
dirty.
now, and then finally our world champion. Hold on, let me just restart that. Gonna force start there. I hate it.
Reached the
What is
the
going
only-
on behind him? What is this? What is this?
So this is the only other three shot along with Hamilton and 70 frames. So 3 frames fewer than
Did
Hamilton.
the screen
but
break?
second
Like,
most.
what is going on behind him?
Yeah, it is weird.
And that's just not moving.
No, like, what is
Well, there's all this
physically
weird
behind
stuff.
him? Like, there's a bunch
Oh.
of stuff back there.
Yeah, it does look like there's actually stuff.
So
Uh
I like
first 2 shots I think are cool.
Yeah, these two, great. He's actually suffering from the exact same problem of Lewis, which is like this final shot. That's
it's like
not
taking a
Max
passport
Verstappen.
photo.
Yeah, but it's just
Yeah.
like that's not his personality.
Yeah.
Honestly,
not as
they should
bad
have
as
swapped
Lewis's,
the
though.
shots, right?
Yeah.
Give Max the punching part and Lewis the happy part. You know?
Yeah. I think the second shot is really nice. Like it reminds me of the Leclerc
Yeah.
shot where you're like looking off into the distance,
Well,
kind of a
it's
little bit
the look down,
moody,
look
like
up,
serious.
but they're doing
Yeah.
it better because he's not
Not
looking straight
towards
at
the camera.
Yeah,
Yeah, this last shot is like a passport photo. Like just look straight at the
Yeah.
camera, be really still, don't smile. It's so uninteresting.
And the only thing that it's
The
got
lighting is boring.
is that zoom out because it's got the final fanfare.
Yeah. It does like a quick
Boom.
pullback.
Da-da-da. Yeah, the lighting, like just make the lighting cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is similar to the Lewis one where the first two shots are cool and then it's just sunk by the last shot,
I
which
would
is
put
the most
this
important shot.
in B behind Lewis.
I think this is C.
Okay.
Unless we want to like maybe the top of C.
I would also be happy with that. Although I feel like I need to rewatch Charlotte Claire.
Charles is better than this.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Where is he?
I think Charles should be further up in the B category, personally.
Probably.
All right, let's put Max in, and now we can.
He does so much with so little. That's 28 frames, baby.
All right, we
Look how
have
he's working that.
we have everybody's in their categories. So now I feel like we can move these around a little bit.
Oh wait, you did put Max in B? I think he should be top of C.
I
you
meant
want
to
him at
put
the
him
end
in
of B?
C. I meant to put him in
Okay.
C.
Okay.
All right, so everyone's in a box now, and so now we can
Okay, should we
try
just
and
go top
finalize this
down?
ranking.
Let's go top down to like to get these ones out of the way. I think our order in S is right. I think Pierre's is better than Valtteri's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
I prefer Valtteri.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I do.
But
I think that
Pierre's is
transition is what
flawless.
sinks him.
Transition's
Yeah,
Valtteri's
it
got
is-
that weird face thing.
Pierre's is
But that is
flawless.
honesty. You know?
No, not.
No, the weird transition. I
transition
think it's a
one.
sloppy transition. I
Yeah,
think it's
that-
a little
No,
weird.
Like,
perfect.
there's-
I don't know what you're talking
Not
about.
that. It's the after it. It's the white flash. Fix it in post, guys.
This?
That right there. Bad.
Yeah.
And I also think the way it like zooms and pulls into the corner,
Weird.
is a
Into
little-
himself.
it's just kind of artificial and weird feeling. I mean, the shot is meant to be kind of goofy.
Which
It is
I
S
love it.
tier.
Yeah.
We're splitting hairs here because we've agreed it's
Fair,
S tier,
very
but
fair.
I think
Okay.
Gasly's got to be first.
I think we need to address the Nico of it all. I don't know if Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah. Where
Where
even is it?
Where is
Oh,
Nico?
it's an A.
We have it in A.
Nico's
after
number
Lando.
5.
Lando?
Yeah, he definitely doesn't deserve an A tier. Well, look, remember he was the first one who got the man.
He's
in
not
black
even
treatment.
moving. Not even moving.
Like I would say, this is maybe I would
think
put him in B,
Alonso
and
and
I
that
would,
should swap. Yeah.
and I think
I-
yeah, I think
I think we have Alonso way too high.
okay, all right. So all right, let's just say Lando is an A, right? We're good with that. Like Lando's is good.
Yeah, I think Nico's is kind of good for the same reason. Like doing that
sounds good.
your big name behind you is successful.
Man, I just watched that Lando one and I'm just like, he's so pouty. Have a good attitude. Just like suck it up.
Yeah, I would say that they have some similarities, but I just think that Lando's is better. Like Nico, he is just standing there.
I think the way
I
they
mean-
frame the way they frame his name around his body, I think is cool too. Like how it's kind of his
Are we
legs are
putting
kind
him
of
back
tucked in
into
there.
A again?
Okay. Hamilton is better than both
I-
of these.
Oh,
Okay.
no way.
Yeah.
The hand in the fist sinks it for me so low. I hate it so much. It's so corny. And it fails the like, if this were you, how would you feel about it rubric.
If this were me,
I
I
don't
would
know.
feel
He
cool.
might not
I would
hate
feel
it.
cool. If this was
Oh,
me,
man.
I would be like, look at this.
I think if you're Lewis Hamilton, you don't. I think you think it's fine.
I think
like, you
Lewis.
had a lot
I
of
think
people-
Lewis's is better than Nico. I do.
Yeah.
Oh
There's so much more
man.
stuff going on.
Now we can keep both of them in B tier. Like, well, we can move Nico to B tier and keep them both in B tier, but I don't think
No.
Nico's is better than Lewis's.
Okay, I don't know. I'm angry.
You don't sound it.
No, that's what Lewis Hamilton was saying.
I feel like I should get a fist from
I'm
you
gonna
now.
kill someone.
Gotta crack some skulls.
Yeah, he's gonna push some cars off the track. That's what he's gonna do.
And I feel like that this Lewis intro would have flown better for me, perhaps, if it was last year or 2 years ago. The coming off of the like robbing of
Yep,
the
yep,
World Championship. It's
yep.
like,
Like, I'm
okay,
coming
that
back.
fits. Like, this is 3 years later. Like, I get that you're wanting to convey, like, don't forget about me. Like, I'm here and I'm ready.
business.
I mean business. Like, that's all fine, but it's just so corny. Like,
Well,
I
look, we
can't
can
get
keep
over
him in
it.
B tier. It's better than
Okay.
Nico.
Yeah. Yes.
That I feel
better than
strongly
Alonso?
about both of those things. Is
Okay.
it better than Alonso?
You just do that. No.
I really like the first part. I think it's so funny. This, I love this.
And there is nothing saccharine about the second half of
Yeah.
this.
I think
It feels
he's
like, yeah, he's doing a cool thing, but he pulls it off.
I think he's good
Yeah.
for B tier. I think
I think he's
Yeah.
above Hamilton in the B tier.
yeah. I think
Yeah,
what
that's
we have
fine.
for B tier right now is good, which is Alonso, then Hamilton, then Nico, then Kevin, then Charles.
I would move Charles all the way to the front of B tier, but that's just me.
Huh.
It is also flawless.
Yeah,
Okay.
he does.
It's
It's
short.
the shortest one, and he
But it's
gets so
flawless.
much mileage out of it.
You
It's
know
like,
what? I agree. I actually do agree with that. For that
Yes.
reason, he has so little and leaves an
But he
impression.
pulls it off.
yeah,
You know, what a Charles Leclerc. What, such his character.
And then I think Max still
Lot of
needs to be
gas.
top of C because he does get a lot, right? Like, which is kind of
Mhm.
an unfair advantage, but that he is the winner,
Yeah.
so he kind of.
I feel
I-
like
that-
Pierre
they-
should probably be above Joe.
What do we think of this shot in the Max one? They kind of cut off that first shot too early. He's like rubbing his hands together, and you don't even really see it. I feel like
Yeah, it's
that
pretty weird.
could have used a tweak.
Give me less of this part.
Yes, I don't want that at all.
Yeah.
This would be A tier if it was just the first two shots, like
Yes.
elongated slightly.
Yes, it would be.
I'm fine with this in C. I don't know where in C. Probably where you have it is
I think
fine.
because I do think that even though we don't get enough of them, the first two shots are good. So I think it's top of C.
Yeah. I think where we have Esteban is too high in C. Like that to me is not a better walk than George Russell.
You think?
Yeah, George Russell, I think, is better than the Esteban.
Okay.
Yeah, the Esteban one is just a muddy mess. It is authentic because he looks super smug
What's the Joe one?
when he's crossing his arms.
No, I know. I'm just trying to remember it.
He means business.
Yeah, that second shot's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not
I
great.
feel like that Joe has to be below Esteban and George because at least they're not awkward. Like
Yeah.
this is awkward.
Yeah. We didn't believe this, did we?
Well, so should Oscar be ahead of him too? It's the
I think
same
they're kinda
idea,
similar.
like that.
and I
looking
I
down
believe
shot.
Oscar more than I believe Zhou Guan Yu in the I'm looking
Yeah,
down
but
on you.
the cross arm shot is kind of better for Joe. Like it's kind of a nice. But
So what
Daniel,
about Danny? I think could be quite a bit higher because it's not there's nothing embarrassing about it.
That's true.
A lot of these are like, oof, I don't know if I like
yeah,
that.
they should
whereas this
definitely be
seems-
above Oscar and Joe for sure. Because
and
they're
Esteban too. I think
maybe.
Esteban's shot is bad.
I think it's better than George's too. I do. Because
Yeah.
George is literally just walking. Like that's all he's doing.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, really coming together here.
So then
Yeah.
honestly for me in D, the only thing I have is Sergio's worse than Logan.
Mm-hmm. Wait, who? Oh yeah, we have Carlos down
yeah,
there. I think that's
Carlos.
correct.
Yeah, those three are the bottom three.
Yeah,
I
this
think maybe
feels-
Yuki is.
should
Yeah,
be
I actually
lower.
think the order that it's in is good.
Yeah.
Albon is kind of vanilla. What's it like again? What's Albon?
It's like he just woke up and
yeah,
then they just
Albon is
pointed a
kind of
camera
just
at his
not really
face.
doing anything.
Yeah, it's just vanilla.
So that's why, like, I think he's like good for the middle, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Yuki's shot didn't have some kind of cool visuals, then it would
Correct.
be down there. But it's got the cool visuals at least.
Yeah,
It's
he has
something
that part.
at least. I don't know about that
There's-
Lance.
there's Yuki.
I think I actually like the Yuki better than the Lance, even though he is a wax mannequin. It's just cooler and not cringy. The
Yeah.
Lance one is like right on the edge of being pretty cringy.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Wait, why? I'm kind of wondering why we have. I still feel like Esteban should maybe be D tier, but again, maybe I'm letting my personal feelings about the driver invade my.
It feels
Shot
honest. It's just the
critique.
fact that his face isn't lit. It's just a technical thing. So
Yeah, I
that's
think
like,
as a walk, it's good and it feels
it was very
honest.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll keep it in C.
Yeah. If it was just lit better, it would be good.
We feeling good?
Yeah.
Have we done it?
This feels pretty solid.
Look at that.
Who do we submit this to? This feedback.
Well, depending on the fact that some audio played, potentially F1, or that also the video has been played, potentially F1 have seen this. It's because they may have copyright claimed the entire video. But we're
Yeah.
doing this for charity, Formula One and Liberty Media.
Come
all right? Leave
on.
us alone. stjude.org/relay. You can support us throughout the month of September as we support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for ending childhood cancer. St. Jude has a simple mission that no child should die in the dawn of life, and we want you to join with us as we support them. So go and donate. Go to stjude.org/relay. You can donate. There are some wonderful stickers and wallpapers and screensavers available for you if you make a donation. But also you can sign up to Fundraise, where you can spread the message with the people in your life and help your donation go even further. Oh, if you make a donation of your own too, don't forget to check for employee matching, because that can help double your donation. All of this information is available for you at stjude.org/relay. Thank you for watching this very important video.